Let me just say this. Teachers can have such an awesome impact long term on our lives. I mean, I have a couple teachers that I still love and adore because of the impact that they had in my life, and fed my passion for learning and my interest in certain areas. Okay. But then, you also have those other teachers, and they also are burnt into your brain, that they're just, for some reason, bent on destruction and have evil hearts and like to hurt and damage kids. And, can it be the same person? Yeah. The same person who one kid can get so much from can be the same person to damage 50 others. Because we don't understand, and I just think that I don't, it just, such gentleness needs to be inserted in this. So to have a teacher, tell your son that he should kill himself, teachers can be bullies too. And what frustrates me is that most of our bullying laws in this country don't include staff at all. Just includes other kids being bullies. And I really don't think, very few bullies are sourced at home. Bullies are typically sourced in the environment where the bullying is occurring. And if the bullying is occurring inside of a school, then I can sort of pinpoint that the cultural environment and attitude within that school is one that is conducive to bullying. And the kids are merely replicating and mirroring the examples being set by the adults. And that's just how it is. So if you have a very despotic, tyrannical, heavy-handed school culture, then I'm sorry, that's going to ripple down. And if you have teachers making fun of students, making snide comments to students, then you just given your blessing for every other student to do the same thing to that kid. So, all right, I appreciate your patience with this question. I know that you asked it a while ago, and so I do appreciate it. So, I don't know what a behavior coach is. All right, I know what a board certified behavior analyst is. I know what a licensed behavior analyst is, which is the same profession. I don't know what a behavior coach is. I don't know what a behavior specialist is. I don't know what a behavior yaya person would be. All these made up titles mean squat to me. I hear schools do that all the time. Oh, I forgot about our behavior specialist. Well, what makes you special? Tell me what makes you special. Point to a degree. Point to some specific training. Because you know what? When I have a board certified behavior analyst sitting in front of me, I know what their requirements were to get that certification. I know that they had to pass a pretty stinking rigorous test in order to get licensed. So that I understand. I understand that you also have to be supervised for hundreds of hours, by somebody who has a license and go through that trial and error, how to do it correctly. Those things I understand. What I don't understand are behavior coaches or behavior specialists that can't point to a degree, can't point to a certification, just receive some training, but didn't have the wherewithal, didn't have and I just don't understand that. People go through master's programs, they'll get doctorate degrees, but if you're I'm gonna stop there. So I don't understand what a behavior coach is. That's not knocking you guys that are out there that happen to be behavior coaches or behavior specialists. I'm just telling you, it doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't. And the attitude that you hear from me is because I have so many problems and fires that I have to point out that are created because of bad behavioral services, typically tied to behavior coaches and behavior specialists. Okay? I get a good, competent behavior analyst in there, I don't have these kind of problems. So, it's currently behavior monitoring, including his plan, they're just not giving him enough services. And monitoring your son or popping their head in, those would be more consultative type services. And I do not believe in consultative type services when it comes to a child with behavioral problems. All right, depending on the degree of the behavioral issues, no. I look at it the same way I do occupational therapy and speech language pathology. Okay? If the IEP team determines that the child would benefit, let's say, from consultative occupational therapy services, that means that the occupational therapist is back here consulting, sort of observing, making sure that the child is progressing, but expecting the staff to implement the strategies that the OT is looking at with regards to deficits. Okay? So on that front, okay, depends on the nature of the child's behavior. That I would sit there and go, okay, consultative services would be enough for this child. But still there would be that expectation of correct implementation by staff. Well, that would denote that the staff would need training. And that would denote that the staff would need to be competent in that training. All right, other kids that have more complicated, intense behaviors, I'm sorry, they need more one-to-one work. They need more small group work, which means in my world that they need competency-based training with regards to the people that are in charge of your son and interacting with your child. And competency-based training is what behavior analysts do. They will have a competency checklist of requirements per your child's behavior plan that these people that are responsible for your child's program need to show or prove that they can do on a consistent and error-free basis. And if they do, then they get passed off as competent in your child's implementation in an error-free manner of their program. That is competency-based training. And in, having somebody pop their head in or be a coach, it just doesn't help your son learn self-regulation, replacement skills, extinguishing the behaviors that everybody's complaining about. It's not enough. So that's where I would go.